A small town in South Carolina, November 2016. A team of police officers and FBI agents is searching a massive 45-acre private property belonging to a successful and respected local real estate broker. Nestled among the dense woods and heavy machinery stands a green metal shipping container. It is locked with 5 heavy padlocks. As the officers draw closer, a sound shatters the quiet of the forest, turning their blood to ice. Someone from inside is violently and frantically banging against the steel walls, screaming desperately for help. Using bolt cutters and heavy equipment, officers slice through the locks and pry open the heavy doors within minutes.
Just a girl. How are you, honey?
This is bolt cutters.
This is our best. He's a paramedic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get you out of there. Okay.
Just hang loose for me.
Anybody got? I need a handcuff key. Handcuff key.
I got it right here.
Hold up. Y'all slide back.
Hold on.
He's got a light. We gotta let him take photographs.
Randy, let me see your light, Randy.
You can put your hands down, sweetheart. You're okay. We're here. Okay.
Inside, amid piles of boxes, food supplies, and crime novels, sits an exhausted 30-year-old woman resting on a dog bed. She is chained by her neck to the container's metal wall with a heavy iron chain. Her name is Kayla Brown. She has spent more than 2 months trapped inside this dark, suffocating metal box. As the officers attempt to comfort her and cut her free from the chains, Kayla's very first words stun even the most seasoned investigators. She isn't crying or panicking. Her voice sounds terrifyingly clear. She reveals that the man who locked her inside shot and killed her boyfriend, Charlie Carver, right in front of her eyes, firing 3 bullets into his chest. He then wrapped his body in a blue tarp, hauled it away on a tractor, and buried it somewhere on the property. She adds that he wasn't the only victim. According to her, the captor boasted that many people were buried on the land and that he had scattered red pepper over the graves so police dogs wouldn't be able to pick up the scent of decomposition. The man who created this hell on earth was named Todd Kohlhepp. To the rest of the town, he was an energetic, charismatic, and incredibly successful real estate broker. He owned his own firm, managed over a dozen agents, drove expensive cars, and was always ready to show off his success. But behind this mask of a thriving businessman hid one of the most dangerous and cynical serial killers in modern American history, responsible for at least 7 confirmed human lives. To understand how this horrific puzzle was unraveled, we have to go back several months to August 2016. 30-year-old Kayla Brown and her 32-year-old boyfriend, Charlie Carver, decided to take a new step in their relationship and move in together. To earn some extra money for setting up their new home, they were looking for any side jobs they could find. Kayla remembered Todd Kohlhepp, a wealthy realtor she had met through mutual acquaintances a few years earlier. Kohlhepp eagerly responded and initially hired Kayla to clean houses he was listing for sale. Then, in late August, he offered her and Charlie a larger job, clearing brush and overgrown trees on his private rural property. On August 31, 2016, Kayla and Charlie arrived at Kohlhepp's land. Todd asked them to wait outside, near the garage, while he went inside to grab the necessary tools. When he returned, the friendly smile on his face was completely gone. In his hands, he held a gun. Before the couple could even process what was happening, Kohlhepp fired 3 shots directly into Charlie Carver's chest without saying a word. Charlie collapsed dead onto the ground. Kayla froze in pure terror. She was left completely alone with an armed psychopath in a secluded forest where no one could hear her screams for help. Kohlhepp handcuffed her, led her deep onto the property, and locked her inside a metal shipping container. Kayla was chained by her neck and hands. For the next 2 months, her life became an absolute living nightmare. Kohlhepp arrived on a strict schedule twice a day, from 1 to 3 in the afternoon and from 5 to 7 in the evening. He would move her to a 2-story garage on the property, where under the threat of immediate death, he forced her to perform sexual acts, after which he would give her a little food, a bottle of water, and lock her back inside the container. Meanwhile, Kayla and Charlie's family and friends raised the alarm. Charlie spoke with his mother every single day, and when he suddenly vanished, she immediately filed a missing persons report. Police checked the couple's apartment. Upon entering, they found their pet dog locked inside, having gone days without food or water. This was completely out of character for Kayla and Charlie, who adored their pet. Then something deeply unnatural began to happen. Activity suddenly resumed on Charlie Carver's Facebook page. Posts appeared claiming that he and Kayla had allegedly gotten married, bought a house, and were expecting a child. But along with these positive updates, strange, aggressive, and nonsensical posts started surfacing. All of them were riddled with glaring grammatical errors, which was entirely unlike Charlie. The person controlling the account posted song lyrics, including quotes from Hotel California, featuring the famous line, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave." Cryptic and disturbing jokes were also posted, such as, "Sometimes late at night I dig a hole in the backyard to keep my nosy neighbors guessing." When worried friends asked in the comments where Kayla was and what was going on, Charlie's account replied harshly and incoherently, "Kayla is with her husband Charlie. She doesn't want to talk to you. We are fine and only the one most important person knows where we are." To make matters stranger, the account began liking and sharing the very missing person's posts created by their relatives and even promoted a fundraiser meant to hire a private investigator. This was Todd Kohlhepp's sick game. He was playing a role on social media, attempting to throw off the investigation while secretly reveling in the attention and his absolute power over the situation. At the same time, Kohlhepp was posting strange, cynical messages on his own personal profile. 2 weeks after the couple vanished, he wrote, "Reading the news, this person is missing, that person is missing. In the event I become missing, please note no one would take me. I eat too much and I'm crabby, they would just bring me back." Later, he posted a rant full of hatred toward humanity, wishing for a massive snowstorm to wipe out half the planet's population because he was sick of entitled and rude people. The investigation remained stagnant with zero clues until detectives obtained a warrant to access Kayla Brown's private Facebook messages. Reviewing her chats, investigators stumbled upon a message from August 31st, where Kayla was discussing the side job on Todd Kohlhepp's property with Charlie. Detectives immediately pulled cell tower records. The pinged signals from both Kayla and Charlie's phones pointed to the exact same conclusion. Both devices registered on Kohlhepp's land on August 31st and never pinged anywhere else again. On the morning of November 3rd, 2 teams of officers headed to 2 different locations. The first team arrived at Kohlhepp's home and office to ask him a few routine questions. Detectives kept their tone neutral, keeping their suspicions hidden. When they asked what he knew about the missing girl, Kohlhepp slipped up and said, "You're trying to find the girl." The detective immediately corrected him, stating they were looking for both her and her boyfriend. Kohlhepp made that slip because he was the only person on Earth who knew Charlie was already dead. Simultaneously, the second team of officers drove onto Kohlhepp's private land. While inspecting the 2-story garage, they noticed a wastebasket in the bathroom containing freshly cut locks of reddish-brown female hair. And as they approached the solitary metal container in the woods, those desperate screams echoed from the inside. Following Kayla's rescue, the officers staying with Kohlhepp immediately placed him in handcuffs and announced he was under arrest for kidnapping. The video of his arrest is haunting. Kohlhepp appears completely paralyzed. He silently listens as the officer tells him that Kayla was just found alive inside a container on his property. When asked where Charlie's body is, Kohlhepp merely responds coldly, "I didn't see anybody, sir. I want my attorney." In the back of the ambulance, Kayla detailed the horrors of her captivity. She shared that Kohlhepp constantly tried to convince her that Stockholm Syndrome would soon kick in and she would fall in love with him. He was planning to build a soundproof underground room to keep her long term. Furthermore, Kohlhepp openly bragged to her about being a professional serial killer and mass murderer. He claimed his dream was to push his victim count into the triple digits, past 100 people, because his current tally was allegedly already in the high double digits. He told Kayla that if she was a good girl, he would teach her how to kill and make her his partner. He also spun tall tales about previously working as a paramilitary contractor doing government hit jobs. Once in custody, Todd Kohlhepp quickly realized the evidence against him was overwhelming. He decided to cut a deal with investigators, but did so in his signature narcissistic fashion. He agreed to confess and lead police to the burial sites only in exchange for 2 demands: being allowed to speak with his mother to give her a picture, and being permitted to transfer money into the college fund of a friend's child. When an officer mentioned that confessing would give him a clean conscience, Kohlhepp replied cynically, "I'm not worried about my conscience. You gave me what I wanted, to take care of my mom." The shocking revelations were only just just beginning. Kohlhepp pointed police to another area on his property, where excavations uncovered two more decomposing bodies. They were 27-year-old Johnny Coxey and his 25-year-old wife, Megan. The young couple had been missing since December 2015. Autopsies revealed that Johnny died from a gunshot wound to the torso on the very day they arrived on the land, but his wife Megan was kept chained inside the container by Kohlhepp for 6 days before he brutally murdered her on Christmas Day by shooting her in the back of the head. Describing her murder during interrogations, Kohlhepp acted with extreme cynicism. He told investigators he picked up the couple near a hot dog stand when they were looking for work. Since they had a criminal record and struggled with drug addiction, Kohlhepp decided they were ideal targets who wouldn't be missed. During the interrogation, he falsely claimed that Johnny pulled a knife on him, forcing him to shoot him in self-defense. As for Megan, he stated he spent days debating what to do with her. He complained to detectives about how much she annoyed him, saying, "I held her there for a couple of days. Every other day she wanted Little Caesar's pizza. I hate that stuff. It gives me heartburn. I bought her Newport cigarettes, and she tried to set the building on fire. She had mood swings and rants. I wanted to give her $4,000 and drop her off in Tennessee, but the weather got bad. She made a mess, broke the fan, so I walked her outside and put a bullet in the back of her head." Throughout his confession, Kohlhepp repeatedly tried to blame his victims and justify his actions. But perhaps the most bizarre aspect of the case was how he sourced his tools. When investigators examined his Amazon account, they were stunned. Kohlhepp had been buying handcuffs, shovels, saws, weapons, and padlocks out in the open on the internet, leaving public reviews laced with his dark, sadistic humor. Under a review for a heavy master lock padlock, he wrote, "Solid locks, have 5 on a shipping container. Won't stop them, but sure will slow them down till they're too old to care." Under a review for a fixed blade combat knife, he posted, "Haven't stabbed anyone yet, but I'm keeping the dream alive. And when I do, it will be with a quality tool like this." Under a folding shovel review, he commented, "Works excellent getting the neighbor to stand still while you chase him with it. Keeps in the car for when you have to hide the bodies and left the full-size shovel at home." And under a chainsaw review, Kohlhepp noted, "It's blacker than my soul and priced right. Getting the neighbor to stand still while you chase him with it is hard enough." Anyone reading those online reviews at the time brushed them off as dark comedy. No one could have imagined they were looking at a serial killer's real-time progress reports. During interrogations, Kohlhepp tried to convince officers that Kayla Brown was his willing partner and that their encounters were consensual. He showed them a stainless steel collar found in the container, claiming she asked him to order it, and spun stories about her asking him to kill her enemies. However, investigators and psychologists recognized it as a classic manipulation by a narcissistic sociopath. Whatever Kayla wrote or did during her captivity was purely a survival strategy to earn her captor's trust while waiting to be rescued. Yet the biggest revelation was still to come. While questioning Kohlhepp, detectives brought up a 13-year-old cold case that stood as one of South Carolina's most notorious unsolved mysteries. On November 6, 2003, in the town of Chesney, an unknown shooter entered a motorcycle shop called Superbike Motorsports and coldly executed 4 people: the shop owner, his mother, the service manager, and the mechanic. The killer operated with terrifying speed, left no fingerprints or physical clues, stole nothing, and vanished into thin air. For 13 years, police vetted hundreds of suspects, but the case went completely cold. During his 2016 confession, Kohlhepp casually smiled and admitted, "I did that. I cleared that building in under 30 seconds." The motive behind this horrific mass shooting was shockingly petty. Weeks before the tragedy, Kohlhepp had purchased a sport bike at the shop. Because he lacked riding experience and kept dropping the motorcycle, the staff and owner made a few light-hearted jokes at his expense. Kohlhepp perceived this as a fatal humiliation to his massive ego. A few days later, the bike was stolen from outside his apartment, and Kohlhepp convinced himself that the shop employees stole it back to screw him over. He planned the attack meticulously. He waited for a time when no customers were in sight, arriving with a suppressed Beretta 9mm pistol loaded with 3 magazines. To avoid leaving fingerprints, he wore 2 pairs of latex gloves stacked together, as the friction between 2 layers prevents touch DNA from seeping through, and opened doors using only his knuckles. He shot the mechanic in the back workshop first, firing 2 downward shots. He then walked into the showroom where the other 3 staff members ran toward the noise. He opened fire at point-blank range, then walked over to each victim to deliver a final shot to the forehead. He bragged to detectives. It was almost like a video game. They ran the wrong way. I did a fast reload and took them all down. Where did Kohlhepp's cold-blooded violence and calculated mindset originate? The answers lie deep in his upbringing. He was born in 1971. His parents divorced when he was an infant, and Todd's childhood was defined by explosive outbursts of rage. By age 9, he was sent to a psychiatric facility for destroying school property and attacking classmates. As a child, he exhibited extreme cruelty toward animals, shooting dogs with BB guns, killing a pet goldfish with bleach because he wanted a gerbil instead, and locking a young boy inside a dog crate, rolling it around while laughing at the child's screams. His mother later admitted she locked Todd inside his bedroom at night and installed extra locks on her own door because she feared for her life. At school, he struck a girl between the eyes with a hammer and stabbed another child in the leg with scissors. In 1986, when Kohlhepp was just 15 years old, he committed his first major felony. He lured a 14-year-old neighbor girl out of her home under false pretenses, tied her hands, taped her mouth shut, and sexually assaulted her at gunpoint. He then walked her home and threatened to murder her younger siblings if she told anyone. He was apprehended immediately. During psychological evaluations, experts discovered he possessed an above-average IQ of 118, but diagnosed him with severe personality disorders, narcissism, and a complete absence of empathy. Psychiatrists noted that Kohlhepp was not psychotic. He was fully aware of his actions, but simply felt entitled to do whatever he pleased.
Despite prosecutor objections, Kohlhepp was sentenced to 15 years in prison. While incarcerated, he adapted intelligently, earning a bachelor's degree in computer science, studying law, and learning how to manipulate people effortlessly. Upon his release in 2002 at age 30, he moved to South Carolina. Because he was on the registered sex offender list, he lied on his realtor license application, describing his felony as a petty teenage argument over a dog. Due to a lack of background verification, his license was granted. Within a few years, he built a thriving career, became a top-producing agent, and founded his own firm. He was wealthy, respected, and entirely invisible to law enforcement. During his 2016 interrogations, Kohlhepp told detectives, "I've never done anything to anybody who didn't have it coming." This was his twisted personal philosophy. He viewed himself as a judge entitled to decide who lived and who died based on his own petty grudges and desires. In May 2017, Todd Kohlhepp pleaded guilty to all charges: 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of sexual assault. To avoid the death penalty, he struck a plea deal and was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 60 years in prison. Kayla Brown was later awarded over $6 million in a civil lawsuit against Kohlhepp for her physical and emotional trauma. Yet even from behind bars, Kohlhepp continued to seek the spotlight. In late 2017, he sent an 8-page letter to a local newspaper, claiming he had many more undiscovered victims. He wrote, "It's not an addition problem, it's a multiplication problem. I have a pilot's license, and there are victims in other states and countries." Whether this claim was true or merely another desperate attempt to grab headlines remains unknown. The story of Todd Kohlhepp is one of the most terrifying sagas in modern crime history. It serves as a stark reminder that the world's worst monsters don't always hide in dark, abandoned alleys. Sometimes they wear tailored suits, smile warmly while helping you buy a home, run successful businesses, and live right next door. They hide in plain sight, concealing complete inner darkness behind a mask of success, ready to steal a life at any given moment.